This is a Global Original Podcast. As you can hear from the echoey sound of my voice, I'm recording this from the vault in the Bank of England where they keep all our money. There's nothing in here. Coming up, God's representative on Earth passes on a message, and I get a face full of builder's dust and don't whine about it at all, as you would expect. But first, in spring last year, there was the first published picture of a black hole, and a lot of people were very excited. Some, not so much.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm super, thanks for asking. Let's have a call in Enfield. Hello, John.
Oh, hello, Nick.
Oh, hello, John.
Hello there.
Hello there.
No hard feelings.
About what?
What I'd like to say...
About what?
What I'd like to say, well, you know, I may have upset you recently, I don't know.
Did you? What did you do?
Well, I wouldn't like to go into that at all. Let's change the subject.
Right, well, I'm just checking about my person to see if I've been interfered with, but I don't think so.
No, not at all.
Right.
No. I haven't taken umbrage against it. What
Yes.
I'd like to say is, this exposure of the black hole a warning to us at the moment.
Sorry, what?
Is the picture exposure of the black hole a warning to us?
I don't know. It could have been anything at all. It looked like a donut to me.
It resembles a Ponzi scheme, very much so. Have you looked at the picture of it at all?
Yeah, like I said, it looked like a donut.
Notice there's a white ring inside it?
Like a donut.
Yeah, well, it looks to me as if, you know, it's absorbing, takes the black hole, you go into the black hole,
Yeah.
and it's bouncing out again because it's generating so much heat there, and it's just like the Ponzi scheme.
Wow, this is like an education, isn't it?
No.
This is science.
Well, it is, but I'm just saying it's a warning to us.
About what?
Well, what we're doing at the moment, the methods that we're using, financial methods that we're using, which is entirely wrong. All the money's going to the top.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Changed.
Trickle up economics. Yes.
Yeah, well, economics comes into it, but also, shall we say, the Green Party seems to be the only party that may be trying to do something about it.
Are they?
Well, it seems to me.
Well, they want to get a lick on.
Well, I'm hoping so, but the thing is, there's so much interest out there, and people want to.
Do you mean financial interest or?
Financial interest who want to acquire massive wealth.
Yeah.
And it's right at the top at the moment, and it's in this country. It's endemic.
Right. Well, you're making a lot of sense, John.
Well, thank you. And you, from time to time, you make a lot of.
Yeah, every now and again. Yeah. If you play me backwards, then I make a lot of sense. Yeah.
But one thing I would like to compliment you: you're listening to me for a change, and looking more deeply into the statements I make.
Well, if that's your summation of my position, then I'm not going to dissuade you from thinking that.
Well, thank you very much.
No, thank you very much.
Are you actually doing that?
Doing what?
Have you thought about the statement?
Anything that you've said? No. Not for a single solitary second. It's in one ear and out the other, literally. It doesn't even slow down as it passes through my brain.
Well, it's a pity about that.
Yeah, it is, but better luck next time. Thanks a lot, John. He was giving us a warning.
Warning!
About... I've got no idea. Jill in Wood Green says, "Oh, for goodness sake, will you go and see your GP about your cough? Bloomin' men, mumble grumble." She grumbled. It's a bit whiny, Jill. Have I mentioned that I'm very, very sick?
Stop whining!
I wonder what it was. I mean, I'm curious as to what it was, but perhaps I wouldn't want to know. I mean, if it's just ordinary builder's dust that I got a lung full of, and I felt very, very just off. I felt a little bit off. You know, weird, strange, peculiar, and it's almost like having a cold, but not. It's like the symptoms of having a cold, where your voice goes down. I mean, not like Nick Ferrari low. I can't get down that low. But yeah, Felt a little bit like as though I've been poisoned, as though I've taken years off the end of my life. And as I've said before, those were going to be the good years. Mick says, can't you just have a nice, sensible debate about the Earth being flat, chemtrails, UFOs, and ghosts and pixies and goblins and witches? Yeah, I'll get to that. James says, when are you going to release your tax return? When I become the President of the United States of America. There's nothing in my tax return. It's like most everybody else's tax return that isn't a millionaire or a billionaire. It's perfectly ordinary. You add up how much you've earned. You pay the prescribed amount of tax. The end. Orpington. Hello, Eddie.
Hello.
Eddie.
You were asking who the people are who fill in YouGov polls.
Yes.
Well, I'm one. I get one every single day. And
I find that hard to believe. You get one every day?
Every day through email, yeah.
And what does it ask?
All sorts of things.
Like?
But they're very confusing questions. It sort of tries to say, do I approve of privatisation in the health of the NHS?
Yeah.
Then if you then say, I don't, then it asks you some sort of question like, would you approve if the government were to cut down on it? And you say yes. And then there's like a double negative question that, does that mean you'll vote for them? Or, you know what I mean by double negative question? So you think you're saying no.
Yes. Whereas in fact you're saying...
No.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many times you say no. What they're actually hearing is...
Yes.
Exactly.
And so, okay, so this one is about the NHS, and would you prefer
but
not...
it always asks you about voting.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it asks you how you're going to vote.
Right.
So, I always vote that I will vote for the man you called Old Beardy.
Right.
He's the only one that I trust.
Okay. So this one was about the NHS, and what they ordinarily... Are they always about the NHS?
No. All sorts of things. Ask what magazines do you buy? What would...
Magazine? Do they still make magazines? What
That's what
for?
I was wondering. All I had to say was no.
Yeah.
But then ask you sometimes, but do you read a paper magazine? No. Do you look at the magazine's website? And I say yes.
Have you ever seen a top shelf magazine?
Disgusting.
It's not asking about that. They ask all sorts of questions.
I can't believe that they still make magazines. What is the point of a magazine? I've never seen a magazine that was interesting in my life, unless they're advertising with us, in which case it's an excellent way to while away the day.
Yeah,
I should have checked. I used to go to a central London place that did my hair before I decided to say, oh, the hell with it, I'm just going to get a £9 haircut at the local barber's. And I can't tell the difference, to be honest. But I used to pay stupid amounts of money to get my hair cut, and they would always have a selection of magazines, which were all adverts from beginning to end, and the bits that weren't adverts, you couldn't tell the difference between whether they were an advert or not. Why would anybody buy that stuff?
I don't know.
I think the Green Party should get all over this, because it seems like a dreadful way to use a tree to me.
Yeah, but you know the ones about homes.
Homes, yeah.
You know, home style. They're the ones where you can't tell the adverts from the editorial.
No.
In fact, I don't even know if there is any editorial.
There'll be a giant room the size of a warehouse with nothing in it but like a sofa. But it's so small you need a magnifying glass to see it.
Yeah. Anyway, from my experience, to sum up, of doing these polls and the misleading questions, I wouldn't put much score by a YouGov poll when it says 34% will vote for... Right,
well, I would, because it's what they do for a living. If you can't understand the question, then maybe you should send back the poll. Get off their list, Eddie.
Haven't you ever seen any yourself?
No.
They always ask these very confusing questions.
No, I've never been asked anything in my life. I did have a fella knock on the door once and say, would you like to be involved in filling out a diary on your radio listening? And I thought... Finally, my numbers are going to go up. I'm going to tick me all across the week. And then he said, but can I just ask, do you or anybody that you know work in radio? And being legal, decent, honest and true, I had to say yes. And so he left.
Yeah. But do you take public transport?
Yeah, always. Everywhere.
Right. So don't you get... you must have this...
every now and again they'll say, where have you come from? Where are you going to? And what are you doing in the meantime?
You know, some people you can go along. You've probably got that look that says, "Don't mess with me." I'm Nick Abbot, and they don't ask you.
No. Sometimes there's somebody on the bus and they'll give out a form, but I've never got a pen on me. How can you fill out a form on a bus with no pen?
I know, but I actually sometimes, when I sort of see what the people are asking questions about, I actually give them the opportunity, and I say, "Why didn't you ask that?" And they go, "Well, you look like the person we shouldn't be messing with."
Right. Well,
not that I'm physically oppressive, but it's just the impression you give.
Yeah, it's the way your face hangs. I understand.
Yeah.
All right, Eddie. Well, please try and concentrate, and because this is important stuff. All right, and make sure that you answer truthfully.
I do.
Or just make stuff up.
Okay. No.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Eddie. 0345 6060 973. I believe that polls are mostly accurate because that's what we're in the business of doing. Creating accuracy. And every now and again they'll get something wrong, but then who doesn't? Jane in Liverpool called in to say, what, she didn't want to hang around? Busy? She called in to say, Jeremy Corbyn doesn't mind if we leave the EU because when we are all starving, he's got his allotment and his big marrows. Look at the size of his marrows.
Yowza.
Huge, is what I heard.
That's true. Uncle Jezza has huge marrows. You wouldn't think it looking at him. Coming up, a brief message from God and the ingredients that make up Donald Trump.
Amusing calls on there as well. The podcast is called the Nick Abbot Habit. If you download Global Player, then Apple people can find it on there. But while we're sorting out the Android version, you can find the podcast wherever they give podcasts away. Ask for it by name, the Nick Abbot Habit.
At Nick Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
I feel lightheaded. That's what I feel.
Yeah, it's probably builder's cork or asbestos, I expect. Something very, very dangerous to my health.
Stop whining.
Dave says, God rules and reigns. The earth is his footstool. He has power, authority and dominion, and he is sovereign. What on earth is this about? Is this worth reading?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it better be. You seem very sure of yourself. God rules and reigns, his earth is his footstool, he has the power and authority and dominion, and he is sovereign, including raising and bringing down governments. God involves himself in raising and bringing down governments? You've got to be kidding me. He sat out the Holocaust. He's not interested in bringing down governments any more than he's interested in the result of a football match, which makes it really odd to me. It really rubs me up the wrong way whenever a footballist scores a goal and then thanks God for personally intervening in that fixture. Got to be out of your mind. He says, Trump is God's man for our time. He may raise up Nigel Farage for his purpose. Well, the sooner the better. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. I mean, really, honestly. Ooh, I should have washed my hands before I did that. Ugh. Kay emails, I want big money donations out of politics. Everyone should be given a £100 voucher to donate to one UK political party. Let's ban big money donations before things get over T here. Before things go over right. Yes, absolutely. Well, Nigel Farage said that his party has, in 10 days, raised £750,000. Wow. In small donations. That's what he said.
Does that sound likely? Huh. And this has an explanation in parentheses before it. This is from you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It says, I haven't had any calls that I haven't put through, so this is nonsense, what I'm about to say. James from Henley texts, once again, your researchers will not let anyone through who might challenge your childish agendas. 3 exclamation marks. You are gutless, capital letters, Nick Abbot, spelt wrong. And this shows how pointless your pathetic program is. Stop giving the contact details out. You're wasting people's time who will never be allowed on the air in capital letters, 4 exclamation marks. You're an idiot, James. You're calling the wrong number. God, it's not like we don't give it out enough. 0345 6060 97. I think we should go to X directory. They keep calling and calling. Why can't they leave me alone? Another one of these numpties who's hearing voices in his head. You didn't call, James. Catford, hello, Steve.
Hi, Nick. Yeah, lies. When is it all gonna? I mean, obviously Donald Trump said that he loved WikiLeaks, didn't he?
He did. He said, "I love WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks is tremendous. I love it." And then just recently he said, "I've never heard of WikiLeaks. I don't know anything about it."
Now, is there kind of an evil genius going on there, or is he just realises he's got completely? I don't know. And
I think he's evil. He's also he seems to be demented. This is a person you can see him mentally falling apart in front of your eyes. He doesn't appear to be all there, but what is there is evil. Yes, with a tiny, with an annoyingly a little sprinkling of funny. Because he can be funny, yet mostly he's evil. Yes, 90% evil, 9% demented, 1% funny.
Well, I think evil's that's a religious word, isn't it? I think just
nasty.
No, yeah, kind of
nasty. It's just a nasty person, and not that bright.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
And he's always had everything he wants, and it's always gone his way. But
his dad gave him everything he's got. Daddy gave him everything he's got, and he's been lying about that ever since. I got a small loan of $1 million. He didn't get a small loan of $1 million. He got a small loan of $430 million. If he just put it in the bank in a low-interest savings account, he'd be worth more today than he is after an entire lifetime of dodgy dealing, leaving miserable people in his wake.
Listen, my dad gave me 400 quid to buy a Hillman Imp.
A Hillman Imp. That was our first car, a cream Hillman Imp, with the back window that opened right up.
Cream, actually.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of those 70s colours, cream and orange and brown.
Yeah. So obviously I'm privileged, liberal elite, but going on to Brexit, the lies there. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I feel, I don't know. To me, I mean, I'm obviously not a great intellect or anything like that, but I can see that remaining in the biggest trading bloc in the blooming world, and
yes, Steve. But we just want Brexit.
Yeah,
I wish I'd got that clip because I can. Cheer up, Steve. It might never happen. Oh no, that's right. It already has. I got to go, but thanks for that. I wish I had that clip of somebody. It was like a vox pop in the street. Some news program went around asking people about what their opinion of how things were going, and this exasperated woman she said, "But we just want Brexit," and I didn't record it, which is very, very annoying to me. I wish I had. So I'm just going to have to say it. I'll have to impersonate someone that you won't know who it is. Still, I will. James in Henley has texted back. He says, I'm not calling the wrong number. How dare you? In capital letters and 4 exclamation marks. And my glamorous assistant next door said, spoiler alert, he's still calling the wrong number. Morons. I'm surrounded by morons. Coming up, I received medical advice from a non-expert with no medical knowledge. This says, give the Brexiteers the monkey nuts that they deserve. I don't really know what that means. Monkey nuts?
A big sack of monkey nuts.
Sarah emails, I get YouGov emails too. They don't ask double negative or misleading questions. They are really clear and ask you to rate how understandable and clear the questions are. That seems a waste of time. Well, they're writing to you to ask you your opinion on their questions. There must be something else. Sarah says they ask a wide range of questions from supermarkets to attitudes to risk to holidays, transport and politics. Ah, see, there is something else. And depending on my mood and how much time I have, I make up answers, especially about who I will vote for. I wouldn't trust them much, says Sarah. Yeah, well, you may do that, but most people wouldn't. I think they're a good indication. That's what they're supposed to be. And if one poll says something and another poll backs it up and another poll and another poll and another poll, then you'd have to assume that they're completely correct in every respect. And by the way, every poll about whether we should leave or stay in the European Union has come up with Remain ever since we voted out in that hooky, very dodgy referendum, which was won by people with a large amount of money. We don't know who they are and we don't know where the money came from. You know, but apart from that, we should respect it. Well, I don't. Let's have a call in Swansea. Hello, Val.
Oh, hello, Nick. Right.
Val.
Yeah, I'm concerned about your cough. I don't know if you are much.
Very.
But because I don't know if you've been to GP, and somebody earlier on left a message to say you should be seeing a GP.
Yeah, but what they're going to do, just going to look in the back of my throat, and then they'll say, well, we can't see anything. You might die later.
Yes, but of course, you have to be more assertive about how serious you think it is, really, and or insist on another opinion, really, because
but opinion about what? What are they going to do?
Well, first of all, you need a diagnosis to know what possibly you have inhaled.
Yeah, but how are they going to get that?
Well, presumably, I don't know, take some. Samples, presumably.
Samples? What, I've got to spit in a dish?
Yeah, but honestly, I mean, in order for you to continue regaling us with this scintillating conversation, you do need to have a lot of respect for your lungs and your throat, don't you, really?
Yes. Well, it does concern me, believe me, and I have thought about it a lot, because it did feel as though somebody had glued sand to my vocal cords. It was like having the worst sore throat ever.
Well, it could be something nasty because, and even if you went back to site, I mean, of course.
Oh, that stuff will be long gone.
Demolition.
It'll be gone. Yeah, it'll be long gone. It was a skip. They empty the skips when they get full.
And they won't know what's in it.
No.
It could have been an old building, but I mean, but you don't know. You don't know they can't diagnose it or find it out. And then when you do, if they do find it, then you need to go to
A&E.
My opinion. You need to go to an independent health store, where they don't just have one brand, and then at least have something natural. I don't mean you take
natural. Well, that stuff doesn't work. What are you talking about, herbs?
Well, what I'm saying is, if you go there, they'll have some idea what to soothe it and help. Anyway,
yeah, every time I've been in a health food store, it's full of people who look like they really need to be in a health food store, which indicates to me that it doesn't, whatever they're selling doesn't work.
Well, there is that. No. Well, it's only one aspect. That's why. But no, I think the stuff works. It's just that it's usually part of a lifestyle, which is probably not very healthy. But in itself, they've been used for years as part of the drugs anyway. Just synthesized, the active ingredient from the drugs. Yeah,
no, I don't buy any of that stuff. Not really. I want medical pills.
That isn't going to change if you don't do anything, is it?
Yeah. Well, it could get better of its own accord.
Right, it could. But if it continued, I'm just saying, it is important for in your line of work anyway, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, most definitely. All right, well, thanks for your consideration, Val. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
0345 6060 973. Did I mention that I got a face full of builder's dust?
Yes.
Once or twice. I think it may have slipped out. Chris in Wickford says, "We just want Brexit," was a woman in Coventry on a BBC News piece. Well, maybe my glamorous assistant can look that up for me and email it to me, because I want to use that again and again and again. She was very, very funny. I mean, she was absolutely exasperated. She was waiting for her life to get better. See, this is the lie that people have been sold, that their life is going to get better. But we just want Brexit. And I was looking at a chart. I was doing research. Can you believe that?
No.
I was looking at a chart today about people's wages. And admittedly, this was in America, but what happens in America as regards to this has also happened here too. And since 1970, people's wages have flatlined. In real terms, no one's got a pay rise. You know, us poor dopes who pay taxes. But the millionaires and the billionaires, the people who do not pay taxes, their wages have skyrocketed. The chart was and it looked like there's the X and the Y axis. This is going to be like homework. You remember maths? There's the X and the Y axis, and I think the X is the vertical axis and the Y is the horizontal one. Well, along the horizontal one, right at the bottom, there was a completely horizontal line. It didn't look like there was a line there. I had to double check. And that horizontal line, starting in 1970 and going to the present day, with the vertical axis being the amount of the increase in real wages, it was a straight line parallel to the horizontal axis of like 90% of people's wages. Flatlined. We haven't had a pay rise since 1970. Meanwhile, from bottom left to top right, going ever upwards, almost vertically upwards, was the pay of the top 10%, and mostly the pay of the top 1%. There's no such thing as trickle-down economics, as George W. Bush used to say.
Absolutely.
It's trickle-up economics. No wonder people are angry. And people like to take comfort in those that will tell them that, you trust in me, and I'll be honest and do right by you.
I'm a person that wants to tell the truth. I'm an honest person.
He lied. And people want to believe in that. And they want to believe in Brexit will turn your life around, and all of these charlatans and oily second-hand car salesmen and Arthur Daley types. And when they don't deliver, as they won't because they can't, then what's going to happen? See, that's what concerns me. It's not the part about getting out of the European Union. It's when we're out and people's lives still don't improve, then what? They will be persuaded to continue to blame those that they have singled out already. Easily identifiable groups of people who are others, people who are not us, because there will still be foreigners around. People will still have to come here to yank tubers out of the ground and pull, pluck apples out of trees and wipe up after us and all that stuff. Otherwise, none of that work will get done. I mean, can you imagine this country, what it would be like if we didn't have people cleaning up after us?
Disgusting.
It'd be awful. So there will still be people doing that, and we should be very grateful that they actually do want to do that, that they are as desperate as they are to leave their place leave their life at home and then come over here to wipe up after us, whiny lot. But as they will still be here, I expect that they will be blamed for our lives not improving once we're out of the EU, or it'll probably be Hillary's fault. Oh, God, I can't believe that guy who I was talking to earlier on is still banging on about Hillary Clinton and how Donald Trump is the saviour of the modern world. Jeez, how can you be so deluded? It's a mystery. Please don't reproduce. I'm begging you. Chris in Watford's... Oh, no, I've read that. Zara says, you might be reassured to know that half a century... I'll start again. You might be reassured to know that half the country seem to have a bug that is affecting throat and chest. I lost my voice completely for 7 days. I had a horrible cough, and I'm still squeaky, says Zara. Oh, really? Well, that's nice, but we're not talking about you. Talking about me. Paul says, the best lever I remember best was a caller on Tom Swarbrick's show. Everyone wants a no deal. I don't care what anyone else says. I'd like that caller as well. Hey, can you sort those out for me?
Yes.
I think he's saying no. Yes, that is a definitive no. Spooky about that message that half the country had a cough, though. That was in spring 2019. And I'll leave you with that, because that's it. If you subscribe to this podcast, the next episode will get squirted up your life, as though by magic, on Mondays. And don't forget the other podcast that I do. There's the one called The Whole Show, which is, as it sounds, the whole show from the radio, with all the ads and the news stripped out. And there's the one that I do, which is a right laugh. If you haven't heard it yet, then I think you'll really enjoy it. It's called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol, in which Carol McGiffin and I try to solve people's problems while laughing like seals. And if you would like us to have a bash at your problem, send it to the following address: nickandcarol@global.com. That's nickandcarol@global.com. And prepare to be completely satisfied. Ask for it by name on an internet near you. What's your problem with Nick and Carol? And I'll be back on the radio Friday, Saturday and Sunday night at 10. And until then, I'll be seeing you.
Bye-bye.